Welcome back, everyone. We are halfway through this one as we are ranking every single NASCAR game here today. We just wrapped up the NASCAR Thunder series, and for those of you who are just joining us, here is your ranking recap brought to you by the 54 car.
This game blows. This game blows.
I am in love with you!
You gotta let it go.
I want to put my face between your
Thunder plates.
Here are the current rankings, and before we get to the rest, I'd like to clarify something about the tier list. The idea of this list is that aside from having different tiers, each game is also being placed best to worst from left to right. Meaning if two games are side by side, the game on the left is being ranked higher than the game on the right. Also, I mentioned this last time, but all these games over here are in the Brendan is a lying asshole category because they are the 14 NASCAR games that I have not played ever. Alright, I think we're ready to get this started again, so without further ado, on to the next game, NASCAR 2005 Chase for the Cup. The handling is interesting. Not sure if it's the camera or the car, but it feels like you're guiding a wrecking ball through the turns. I mean, you get used to the handling over time, it's not awful, but the tire wear? Fuck me. So, funny story, you're gonna love this. They forgot to program any! Well, actually, you still have tire wear. It's everyone else on the track that always seems to have brand new tires. Ain't that some inexcusable bullshit? You know how frustrating it is to dominate a race only to fall to 20th place in the last 3 laps before you're stopped because you're the only guy that's slipping around like an idiot? The answer is very. It's very frustrating. It fucking sucks. On the bright side, EA Sports did make some massive expansions to their career mode for this game. Instead of simply starting in the Cup Series with a small race team at your disposal, you're instead brought into the professional racing scene after winning a spontaneous illegal street race against Ryan Newman. He offers you the chance to race for him in the Featherlight Modified Series, he gives you a phone and an agent, and your goal is to race your way through the NASCAR ladder in order to eventually land a Cup Series ride and challenge for the Nextel Cup. And as neat as this setup is, the rest of the career mode kinda misses the point. Don't get me wrong, there's tons of new stuff that I really do like. For example, you can sell merchandise, you can customize your driver, and you can even interact with fans via QuickTime event-style autograph sessions. But the number one purpose of any career mode is progress. It's fighting to make a name for yourself and being recognized for all your hard work. And to me, this game misses the mark on that. Sure, this meter moves depending on your behavior on track, and you can add a star every now and then to improve the stats of your car or team, but even while you ascend toward the Cup Series, it never feels like anything else meaningful is going on. Are you winning a bunch of races? Nice! Here, we made the number bigger. Are you nice to the other drivers? Cool! We'll move your needle to the good boy zone. You're a phenomenal talent, the likes of which we've never seen? Anyway, here's that Terry Labonte museum you ordered. I mean, once you reach the Cup Series, that's it. The game is pretty much done giving you anything to show your progress aside from watching numbers go up and down. You can't build your own fleet of cars and strategize which car to work on and which one you'll take to the track. You can't add sections to a race shop that require you to balance how much money and how much time you're willing to spend on them. I mean, you can hire people to race for you, but even then, nothing happens. They just do the race, you get money, and that's the end of it. A great career mode needs to allow you to indulge in the fruits of your labor. You need something you can look at, like a race shop or a trophy room or a photo gallery or something. Something that lets you appreciate how far you've come and makes you feel like you have, indeed, made a name for yourself. There's some good ideas and loads of content here, but at the end of the day, this is just a B-tier game. In racing games, it's pretty common for the handling to have a bit of a learning curve built into it, because at the end of the day, if the car is too easy to control, you're not going to have any fun. And it's also true the other way, meaning that a car that's just impossible to control isn't any fun either, because like, fuck, that shit's frustrating, makes it feel stupid. In fact, sometimes it can make you feel so stupid that you start having a mental crisis over whether you know literally anything about how to drive a car. And NASCAR 06 successfully rifles that feeling into your brain from flag to flag. These are the least consistent, least predictable racing physics I've ever personally had to deal with. When you're about to enter a turn, you can feel your anxiety start to boil over because, buddy, you have no goddamn clue what's going to happen when you turn the wheel this time. Let's say you dive into a corner and the thing won't turn. It starts going right to the wall. Obviously, you're going to be like, hey, my car's not turning. That sucks. I need to really make sure I get the car turned next time. But the next time you dive into that same turn, before you're even in the corner, the car jumps completely sideways. That is almost every single race in NASCAR 06. It's like a fucking slot machine with the handling. You have almost no control whatsoever on where your car is going. And God forbid you dive too low in a corner because your ass has about an 80% chance of becoming a 3,000-pound Beyblade. Then throw in the fact that the collapsing of space and time has seemingly taken away your garage, your fans, and your Terry Labonte museum in career mode, and you'll see that all that's left is a liminal space of menu screens that are, occasionally, interrupted by some of the most anus-clenching races you'll ever regret. But for all the crap I give this game, there's one thing I do gotta admit. I really like the brand new Total Team Control feature. The idea of Total Team Control is that if you have a teammate in the race with you, you'll be able to ask them for favors like you would in a real race, and when it works, it is damn cool. Teammates can be asked to pit with you, draft with you, move over for you, block for you, but by far the most fun function here is the ability to swap cars with your teammates. At a moment's notice, you can yeet into the car of a teammate and do whatever the hell you want with it. The best use of this, of course, is causing a wreck with your own car just to swap to your mate and try to snake through it as best as you can. It's a fun toy and a damn creative one at that. But yeah, that's it. Rest of the game blows ass. It's C tier, and honestly that feels generous. From here on out, EA Sports only made 3 more NASCAR games for home consoles, and since the last 2 took a while, we're gonna jump through these next 3 pretty quickly. NASCAR 07 was the last major shift that we would see in driving physics, probably because 06 pissed me off so much. The new physics are so good that I don't even need to spend an hour describing them. It's easy enough for anyone to pick up, but with the horsepower and slippiness to let you ride on the edge, especially with the tire wear turned on. The AI are also far better than they've been for a long time. They typically give ample room, but they do still cheat with grip on the flatter and narrower turns. But regardless of easy or hard, it's always fun, and that's how we rank these things. It's incredibly fun carving through the pack in this game, in a way that makes you not even want to mess with career mode. It's an arcade game at heart. The simple handling and forgiving contact physics make every race a blur of daring passes. You don't gotta tiptoe around like you're trying not to wake up your parents anymore. And all you ever want to do when a race is over is switch the paint, switch the tracks, and go right back out. I mean, you can still do career mode, but the fun in this game is more in just balls-to-the-wall racing action, not watching your manners and big-picture focus. Especially since the AI is pretty easy at most tracks. So almost 100% based off of gameplay and fun alone, even if you can still helicopter like an idiot, this is an A-tier experience for me. Now, I'm not really interested in the PS3 or Xbox 360 versions of NASCAR 08 and 09. My axe to grind is against the PS2 versions that I know much better. If you really need to know how I'd rank them, NASCAR 08 PS3 has the worst driving physics of any NASCAR game I've ever played. It'd be like, here. And as far as NASCAR 09 for PS3, I've never really played it. Now, on to the main event. Wait, nope, hold on. Bring that back. Bro, check this shit out. First, the pros of NASCAR 08 for PS2. Individual stat upgrades for your car and career mode, contract clauses for a dash of substance, brand new swivel camera, interactive ticker on the pause menu, rewind feature, and top it all off with 60 frames per second for the first time. Now just look at that. Isn't that so cool to see? They added all this genuinely good stuff to an already fun game. As long as they didn't mess around with the fundamentals too much, everything should be alright. I want to laugh right now, because this is obviously, objectively, hilarious. But I can't. This is actually just a really depressing point in our story, especially as someone that has been a fan of these games since I was old enough to hold a controller. Because this, completely out of nowhere, right off the heels of a genuinely good game, is the point of no return. As of the time of recording, this was the last major fall of NASCAR in the world of video games, and it would never get back up again. So, on that note, here's all that needs to be said about NASCAR 09 for PlayStation 2. The last big change EA Sports would make to a NASCAR game was the addition of something called Family Mode. It was a mode designed to make NASCAR 09 more accessible to casual players by cranking every single assist up to the absolute mathematical limit. What you are watching is me not just completing a 4% race at Atlanta on Family Mode, but winning it after starting dead last without even looking where I'm going. Okay, cool. So thanks for sticking with me. That was as sudden for me as it was for you. And as your reward, I left you a little treat. You see, while they were busy ruining everything I hold dear, EA Sports combined the soundtrack from NASCAR 05 with some graphically enhanced cars from NASCAR 07 and made an arcade game called EA Sports NASCAR Racing. I played a good bit of this at Dave & Buster's, and it's actually an incredibly fun time. It's completely balls to the wall, especially with multiple players. The draft is crazy strong and you can build up a meter that lets you slingshot around other cars, but the moment you aren't in the draft, even the AI cars are going to be slamming you from behind. The crashes are over the top and the handling is as loose and out of control as it can be without making you spin out. Honestly, I'd say it's a fantastic casual substitute for Daytona USA. If you just want to have a dumb, fun time with your friends at the arcade, this is the best racer you can get. So, back to where we left off. NASCAR 09 was the last straw, and due to slumping sales and budget cuts, EA Sports would allow their exclusive license with NASCAR to expire in 2010. Turns out, eliminating their competition was the dumbest fucking thing NASCAR could have possibly done. EA did manage to shit out one last title before their license was up though. A crappy kart racer for the Wii that no one cares about. It was the first game I played on my own Wii, and the disappointment was immeasurable. You know Team Sonic Racing? It's a boring that, but with NASCAR slapped on it. Aside from that, for the first time since 1995, there were no major NASCAR games released between 2009 and 2010. And in no time, fans of the series were doing anything to get their fix. The Great Famine, some called it.
Hi, I'm Jeff. I'm here to teach you driving.
But emerging from the shadows was a brand new name that would be the salvation of starved NASCAR fans worldwide. Eutechnyx, a British developer, would bring NASCAR gaming back to the masses with NASCAR the Game 2011. This would be the first in a series of games that they would develop exclusively for NASCAR. Wait, seriously? Another exclusive license? Do you people not learn? For better or for worse, all the Eutechnyx games taste the same. The debut game was pretty basic. Hell, even the career mode was just a season mode with a different name. To be frank, this game is awful. The AI is slow as hell and a danger to be around, the glitches are rampant, and as far as content, the paint booth was kinda neat, but it was pretty much the only extra feature in this game. However, it had been over 2 years since we had any new NASCAR to play, so at the time we were happy to settle. Also, I had the Wii version because I'm a bastard, but I know how much multiplayer and graphics affect my opinion on a game, and the paint booth from the Xbox and PS3 versions is almost the same as NASCAR 15, so I think I can rank those versions pretty accurately. 2012's NASCAR the Game Inside Line was the first full-on NASCAR experience Eutechnyx would muster. Some of the shoddier gameplay was tweaked while fleshing out the features of the previous game. Challenge mode is back for the first time since NASCAR 09, and the career mode actually lets you upgrade the car and manage sponsors like any decent career mode would. It's still Cup Series only, but hey, it's progress. AI is more manageable as well, being much more competent this time around. But they still check up out of nowhere pretty often, so you'll need that rewind function for how often they cause you to eat shit and die. So still not great, but we have half-decent physics and the series is growing. This would be a great time to re-release your last game for 3 straight years. In what I can only describe as a decision, the next 3 games of the Eutechnyx series are practically the exact same game! As a matter of fact, I just ranked the PS3 version of Inside Line, and I never even played it, because I got the fucking Wii port again!
However, I can still rank it accurately because I did own NASCAR 15 for the PS3, and they are so much the exact same experience that I might as well have played both.
The only important changes among these games is that NASCAR 14 improved the quality of online play and gave you some more options for managing your own team, which, to be fair, I did say how that's pretty important to me for a career mode.
Another feature they added was that the AI could crash out of the race, a feature that has literally existed in NASCAR games since 1994.
For the improvements to online and career mode, I'll bump NASCAR 14 and 15 up a little bit, but the issues of the first 3 games do persist, so they'll stay at the bottom of B tier.
Obviously, Technics was already on borrowed time, so after NASCAR 15, they were done. But fans were optimistic, because the next game was looking like it was set to be an absolute treat. NASCAR Heat Evolution was developed by our old friends at Monster Games and published by the brand new Duesenberry Martin Racing. Everything was looking great leading up to release. DMR co-founder Ed Martin had been involved with every single major NASCAR series dating back to the original NASCAR racing title, and the last NASCAR game from Monster was a cult classic. So of course, because of this legendary pairing, we were fucking screwed! They fucked us! God damn it! Let's get the positives out of the way first. It has a challenge mode and a mode that is in fact named career mode. And now the fun stuff. Baby mode handling that allows you to simply hold a stick to the left to complete any turn. AI physics that throw back to the original NASCAR Heat on PS1. Tire wear existing in name only. Pinball bullshit if you brush against a fucking mosquito. Massive frame rate drops. Massive online connectivity issues. A glitch allowing you to gain speed by spamming the pause button, as well as just countless glitches of every shape and size. A presentation that's as bare bones and lifeless as NASCAR 2001, and graphics that would have been impressive for a PS2 game, which is funny because I'd rather play a fucking PS2 NASCAR game than blow my money on this fucking lie. Now, where credit is due, the Heat series actually did improve with their sequels. Heat 2 not only added the Truck series and Xfinity series to career mode to give you something to do, but also gave their own take on climbing to the top by giving you one-race hot seat opportunities to build your reputation amongst prospective race teams in higher series. They also improved the driving model, but only to the point that the rear of the car wiggles a little at oval tracks. Road courses are a challenge, but ovals are still pretty boring. The biggest adjustment, however, was to online play, because now it fucking works!
Now, if only they could fix the... Damn it, look at him go. Like I was saying, if they could just fix the son of a bitch!
We've got momentum heading into Heat 3, and this is where you can feel the Heat series start to become a complete package. Dirt racing is the biggest inclusion, and easily my personal favorite, because if you remember, I was praising the dirt racing from a certain golden era game a while ago, and even though the contact physics aren't as nice as they were before, every bit of that good old dirt slinging fun is back here. They even designed a dope-ass dirt road course that you can slide around on as well. It just warms my heart. Career mode is more in-depth this year too, now letting you own your own team for the first time since NASCAR 07, and letting you manage multiple cars at the same time for the first time since, wow, NASCAR Thunder 2004. There are a bunch of little improvements, but dirt racing and a fleshed-out career mode are the only ones you'll really remember, and I want to just leave it there and have this be a step in the right direction. But the moment you leave the menu to start a non-dirt race, all the core issues of the actual gameplay just start rushing back.
But I'll dive into the driving model that all these games share in just a second, because it is like 80% of my issue with all the Heat games.
For NASCAR Heat 4, they pretty much just said, fuck it, they'll never be happy. Here's 900 sliders, now make it play however the hell you want. You want the AI to act as moving walls? Done. Want them to wreck at the slightest touch? Do it. You want pack racing everywhere? Fine. You want the field to spread out? I don't fucking care, just do it and stop expecting things from us.
And I know no one wants to hear me ramble, so let's talk about handling and just get it over with. Again, dirt racing. Good. And while we're at it, every road course race. Not great, but also good. Lots of time spent in lower gears, so lots of car control. But ovals. Ovals. They make up 60% of the tracks in the game, 80% of the tracks that the Cup Series can race at, and I couldn't hate them more. Strike one, no horsepower. I know the real-life cars had crap for horsepower at the time, but this clearly isn't a simulator, so... Strike 2. You know how while you're driving, the car loves to constantly do this wiggling shit for no reason at all? So I fucking hate that? Strike 3. This is what happens when you overdrive a corner in any other NASCAR game. And this is what happens in NASCAR Heat 4. I did a lot of oval racing when I was doing online for Heat 3 and Heat 4, and only then when you're up against the intelligence or bullshit chaos of other people are ovals any good at all. And with oval tracks making up so much of not just Heat 4 but all the games in the Heat series, you can understand why so many of them are ranking this low. You know what? Go ahead and throw Heat 5 up there too. They're literally the exact same goddamn game, so they can just sit there together looking all dumb and shit. Maybe we were spoiled in the mid-2000s. Maybe we had so many full and fun NASCAR games in a row that our expectations were raised too high. And maybe now, after 9 years of settling, we've largely resigned ourselves to a mentality in which we have no hope for the future of our favorite gaming franchise. I mean, it's just like being a Sonic fan. NASCAR is a franchise of past greatness in both the real world and in the gaming world, and for the most part, the fan base is just tired. We'll take any game with a car and a circle and try to enjoy it. Because every time there seemed to be a light at the end of the tunnel, things just got worse. But we have to fight that. We have to keep fighting for the NASCAR game we dream of. Because those of us lucky enough to grow up with the Thunder games, or the Papyrus games, or the original Heat series, or Richard Petty's goddamn Talladega, we remember what it felt like to play our favorite NASCAR game for the first time. We remember what it was like to be proud of those games. We remember having our expectations blown out of the fucking water by those games. There is so much good in NASCAR games. I know it's been rough, but as long as NASCAR exists, we still have a chance at that ultimate NASCAR game experience. Because we remember the good times, because we'll keep giving our input on these games, because we'll keep being critical of them, not because we're cranky old schoolers, but because we know how good they can be. We will have our NASCAR Thunder 2004. We will have our new favorite NASCAR game. Please, Motorsport Games. You have the chance in 2021 to at least put us on the right path to that game. I might be critical of whatever you put out, but please just bear with me. I'll try not to be a dick about it. I'm just very tired.